I wanted to run a breakfast meeting, an online breakfast meeting. And this was back in January 22. Sort of had the idea a few months before it and never quite, wasn't quite sure how to start it off, how to make it take off. And so I just started advertising on LinkedIn that I was going to be running Croissants and Coffee for small business owners, as I called it originally. And it was just a Friday morning chat just to get some people that ran their businesses on a call, because the thought process behind it was that business owners are it can be a very lonely place, especially for small business owners. And perhaps they don't get the opportunity to talk to their peers and other people that are in a similar situation as them, might actually need a bit of support and actually might benefit from just being able to have a conversation with someone who gets it, who understands what they're talking about, who has similar problems. And then together they could perhaps start to solve their problems. So the idea originally was that I would just set it up, facilitate, and see where the conversation went. Perhaps I'd be ready with a question to ask everyone around the room. But in general, it was kind of, let's just talk, let's just see where it takes us. I couldn't believe how well it went, Deb. It just kind of, people just kept coming back. So just through advertising it through LinkedIn, a handful of people turned up, and then they turned up the following week. I think there was one week where we only had 2 people, but that was like the third week. And then I had all these messages from everyone saying they were really sorry they couldn't make it that week, but they were really looking forward to the next week. Because first of all, I was on the call thinking, oh no, maybe this isn't quite working. But what I found was, by turning up at 9:00 every Friday consistently for a period of time, people just kept coming. And then it became a thing that it was the highlight of their week. And they just found that it was, I had comments. Elaine springs to mind. Elaine is a character, as you know, Deb, because you got to know Elaine as well. But she referred to it after a few weeks of, it's not a networking event. It's more like a mini-mastermind. And that was great. That was great feedback, because that kind of was what I wanted. I didn't really want to create a networking event. I didn't really want that kind of environment. I wanted everyone to just be in a space where they could come with a problem and everyone in the room would help them solve it, which is what it became. And that's where the mastermind kind of came from, really, was, here's a problem. How can we solve it? Let's everyone try and give some support to the person with the problem and see where the conversation takes us. And people just used to come off the call saying, this is great. Thank you so much for all that help. And other people would be perhaps a little bit quieter in the background listening, but they would message me separately and say how much support and how much information they'd gained just from sitting in the room listening to everyone talking.